Hello, my name is Todd Sherman. I'm the founder of Building America's Foundation. I just wanted to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Today is Wednesday, the 27th, and tomorrow everybody's going to be having hopefully a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family or your friends. Coming to Thanksgiving season here in 2013, there's a lot to be thankful for. For me and Building America's Foundation, it's thankful to see another year, our first full year in operation. Last year we were just starting out, and in 2012, last year, we obviously had the presidential election and the impacts from Hurricane Sandy. So hopefully, a lot of the people who have suffered losses in Hurricane Sandy are doing much better this year, and you know, definitely feel for you guys, and just hope that you're keep on recovering. Um, Building America's Foundation has been trying to raise funds and make an impact over the last year, obviously. Um, 2012, we had just gotten um, registered in a number of states. So we were registered in like 32 states last year. 10 US states do not require registration. Those states are, I don't know them all off the top of my head, but Texas, Nevada, Idaho, Montana, Indiana, um, don't require any registration. So there are 10, those 10 states, we're good to go. We can help people in pretty much all 50 states. We're just limited on being able to raise funds in the 7 states that were not registered that do require registration. Um, those states that do require registration that we are not in are like New York, um, Colorado, Illinois. I was born in Rockford, Illinois. I definitely can't wait to be in Illinois um, for Building America's Foundation. New York and Maine said don't even apply until you have your tax exemption. So we're just not there now. Virginia, Mississippi, we're not in just because they have rules where you have to have more officers. Tennessee, the same way. You have to have, we just don't have more officers to our organization because we're new. I mean, if we had raised $1 million or $3 million to pay off student loans and mortgages, we'd probably have more people and we'd be working on registration with those states. So um, we are thankful though that in 2013 we've been able to renew our registration with 30 states. So that is fantastic. We've kind of kept going. It's been a struggle. We've had two fundraising campaigns, one in the spring and then one in the fall. Ultimately, I'm just going to say flat out, I don't pull any punches here. Everybody knows that they just weren't successful at all. So um, I was hoping for a lot more um, than happened. And overall in 2013, so far, we've raised $35. It'd be nice if we doubled that here before the end of the year, but I mean, $35 in donations from people other than myself. So I get it. We're new, we're not out there. It's been a struggle. It really hit me over the summer because our spring campaign was to help a cancer survivor, Sheila, to pay off her home, which is only around 140,000. Now, 140,000 sounds like a lot of money, but in reality, it's not. It really isn't. It's just a drop in the bucket. Um, and so, you have 40, 50,000 people given, $10. Let's just say 10,000 people give $10. I mean, we're there. We're we totally taken care of 100,000. I mean, who wouldn't appreciate that? She would have been struggling with breast cancer for the last 2 years. She had a double mastectomy. She is a teacher who is teaching special needs kids. We all can agree special needs kids definitely need the teachers who are dedicated to their service. As I get older, I value everybody in society, but even more so our teachers who are sorely underpaid. People say that they get good contracts and stuff, but the fact is some of them aren't even making a living wage, really, depending on where they live. But the fact is that we just weren't successful. Haven't been successful in raising funds or getting the word out. But I am very thankful that the people who have applied have found us. We've probably received close to 60 applications over the last year. So, I mean, I had to stop reviewing some because I felt like um, we could have, there's 5 spots for 50 states. I can fill that. I could totally fill that. But if you're not getting 100 or even a thousand, more or less $100 in donations, there's this huge gap you have to fill. I mean, does it make sense to have 5 million needed for assistance and total donations of $100? I don't want to be a failure or lead people on with a belief of fake money. That is not the case. I'm an upfront, honest. There is no scheme. There is no nothing here. We're just trying to help people. So maybe I'm one of those rare people. I come from the Midwest. Like I said, I was born and raised in the 70s, early 80s. And so we just kind of helped each other. So if I was struggling, we'd all gather around and, we'd probably have meals with different families over the course of, weeks and months to help people out. I mean, people would, can soups back then and pass them around. That was life in the Midwest. And so I miss that. We moved out here over the last year and a year ago from Issaquah to North Bend. North Bend's a much smaller place. Out here, they have a food bank. And the people who are struggling in society, they work hard. I know that this past election, there was a lot of talk about 47% people being lazy and stuff. These are not the people I see every day. These people work 1, 2, 3, 4 jobs, and they just rather pay their mortgage. They'd rather pay their rent. They'd rather pay their power bill during the cold months. They'd rather take care of their family, and they're just trying to scrape by on the food, or hopefully they get assistance on the food. So, I mean, I'm not seeing these people are the salt of the earth. These are the people who actually would help you out if you needed help. So I definitely see that. So as you can hear probably in my voice, my passion hasn't changed at all. I definitely want to keep helping people out. Building America's Foundation, obviously, we have 2 programs: pay off the student loan and pay off the mortgage. And both are equally important. We're obviously very concerned in the society with young people getting a break starting out in life. In fact, with the amount of older people retiring, we have this knowledge gap starting to appear where the people aren't getting in there to getting trained by that previous generation because they're trapped by their student loans. They have to stay home or stay in a lower job because they feel like they can't move to the society and make that risk. And unfortunately, we still have a number of those people still defaulting on their student loans because that lower job doesn't pay a living wage. It doesn't help them keep going. They've had to sacrifice more. So I get it. I've seen this gap for years being in the investment industry and in banking. I've seen it. And that's why after my job evaporated with the family closing down their investment business, I felt the need to start this nonprofit and go for this. So it's filling a gap in society that isn't being filled. If there was another nonprofit doing it, if even churches did this, I would definitely not have done this, especially since it's taken so long to get our tax exemption letter. So it is a gap being filled, and I hear from you every day. I hear from the moms, I hear from the dads who are struggling. As a parent, especially a parent here trying to raise 2 kids, I hear it, I see it, and I understand the differences in society. We need to help people. I'd rather have people have their homes paid on or paid off and help those people underwater. It doesn't take a whole lot. Rather help out the students to get their student loans behind them so they can take the chance to fill in that knowledge gap in the communities and use the skills they went to college to learn. We definitely need to come together as a society to do that. So one thing I definitely want to state here is that in 2014, to decide whether I'm going to go back. I have a securities license, 3 years. I have to do a renewal. I really, I love what I'm doing. I love trying to build it, but we got to really build it. We got to make an impact. The goal for the fall fundraising campaign was 600,000. Really, I've done the calculations. That's what it just needs to be just to stay operational. But at the end of the term, you just have to ask yourself, are you helping anybody? You just can't exist just to exist. I don't believe in just filling a bench on the seat just because it's there. I feel like you got to help people to stay doing that. And so staying true to my word, I'm going to give it my all. 2014 is the year. We either make an impact or it's done. It's that simple. Um, I'll never give up on it, but we got to make the impact. We got to have the followers. I mean, Facebook's 40. You are always going to be the most loyal 40 I've ever run into. But we need to have it grow to 400 to 4,000 to 40,000. We need to go from $35 to 300,000 to, well, let's just go from 35 to 300, then to 3,000, 30 before we can even think about 300,000. But we've got to get to the 300,000 and get towards that $1 million mark so we can start paying off. It's having that success, that first student loan that falls, that we're going to get that wheel running. And you know how hard it is to get that momentum going. So I know how hard it is. I'm dedicated. I'm going to shake things up a bit. So 2 things I'm going to do, and I'll announce that in a little bit later. Another one before the end of the year. I just want to definitely shake things up a little bit. But I'm going to announce that probably in a couple more weeks. I had a surprise this week. And this is the last thing I'm really thankful for, other than you guys and for this year. I'm thankful for the comments that keep coming in, the emails, the posts on Facebook, because you guys give me the energy I need to keep going. You know, you get turned down a lot. I've been turned down by more businesses than I ever care to even talk to in the future, but it's just a start. I'm turned down by, sororities and fraternities, turned down by kids who are the presidents of their universities, or kids who are the press people for their universities. You get turned down because you're not local, you're not interesting, you're not hip, you're not really, you don't have anybody to talk, you don't have the success yet. Boy, man, just give me Sean White as an endorsement. Sean, if you're out there, help us out. A couple donations, a word out to pay off the student loan or pay off the mortgage. Building America's Foundation, I don't care. Just help us out. Somebody coming to my aid, because being hip with the kids, even me, I'd be there. But I got the surprise when I was talking to Brooke, a person who emailed me yesterday. She was brainstorming some ideas, and I was talking about Craigslist. I was telling her about how I haven't been able to get donations, but I've also been getting ridiculed, for trying to raise donations because they don't think that you're a real charity. Then you have to email them your little registration number. We're registered in your state. We're good, but we're small. We're starting out. I'm struggling, so we could use all the help, and not the naysayers. But it just takes time to even respond to stuff like that. Got this yesterday. IRS. Looks like they might have assigned somebody to review our tax exempt application. So this is our number one thing that's keeping us from raising significant funds, from going to businesses and offering that carrot to say, hey, you get a little bit of a write-off if you help us out. So organizations really need tax exemption. With that tax exempt letter, I'll give you an example. Google offers charities or nonprofits the ability to have $10,000 in monthly advertising. Otherwise, I have to pay for it myself. So that tax exempt letter can make a huge impact. So I have to respond before this by December 11th. I got some work ahead of me, but I thank you, the IRS. So just to wrap up, everybody have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and in the Apple Cup, go Cougs. Love you guys. Take care.